All right, everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome into the FL1 Betting Preview here on FingerLakes1.com. Paul Russo, Jim Sinicropi, and Kyle Evans here with you. Look, I won't shy away from it. Collectively, really good week for us in the grand scheme of it as a collective group. We'll get into the bet card here in a little bit, obviously. But first, handle some podcast business. Thank today's sponsor, Dewey's Tavern. Dewey's Tavern within walking distance of downtown, just across the Bridge Street Bridge in Seneca Falls. Play quick draw, lottery, 19 televisions for all your sporting events. Great food for lunch or dinner with bocce, darts, and pool leagues. You can check them out online at deweysthirdward.com. And Jim, I know you gave some food tip advice before. I have one for Dewey's.
Okay.
Buffalo fries.
Oh, wow.
Literally, they just take their fries and they just toss them in buffalo sauce.
Yep. They sprinkle a
So
little
good.
cheese on there too, or?
I personally don't, but I'm sure you could if you really wanted to. That's actually probably a move right there.
All right.
They don't do that already as is, possibly. So, but yeah, it's
Enjoy those watching the Thursday night game tonight.
Yeah.
Bengals, Ravens. What a good game.
get excited, edge of your seat stuff. Yeah. So let's get into the bet card from last week, week 10, and.
Wow, you guys both went 3 for 3.
Well, Kyle went 3 for 3. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't figure out an exact way to kind of do it. The Lions -3 were a push.
Oh, that's fine.
2-0-1 for me. Jim, it was probably your roughest week in about a month, to be honest here on the
Well,
show.
it was a bloodbath. First of all, the Colts New England game was the lock of the century. I mean, that wasn't even close. The Oklahoma State game was like unbelievable. They got blown out by Central Florida. I know a lot of people get upset when they lose a close game. They're really upset. They lost a bet by half a point or a last second turnover. I get upset when I'm totally wrong, like way wrong. And I had Oklahoma State -2. They lost by 40.
Yeah. So I had that too on Fresh Takes, and I was convinced that we'd have our Big Ten, but UCF becomes the second new Big 12 team to defeat a standard Big 12 team.
I hate that. And then Penn State, I mean, I don't think I was necessarily wrong on that pick, but what I didn't account for was how stupid the coaching staff for Penn State is.
Yeah.
Second possession of the game, they got 4th and 1. You know, this is college football. You got to go for it and show them that you're ready to go. And they punted, and so they started out 14-0.
Yeah.
So teach me again, too. You know, I hate betting on schools or teams that I really dislike, and I don't like Penn State at all.
Yeah.
Is a institution, is a safe haven for child molesters.
Exactly. There we go.
I'll never bet on them again.
Yeah. James Franklin's done there, I think, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this year, but in the grand scheme of it. Kyle, you, on the other hand, began the week with another player prop bet, and that kick-started another winning week for you.
Yeah, when I picked that was actually my lock of the week. It hit in the first half.
Yeah,
I think he finished with another 150-yard receiving game. So yeah, CeeDee Lamb's been unbelievable. Lions was a little bit of a sweat. You know, they won late.
The line wasn't money line. Like, what was the spread on that game?
So I had it at 3, but it closed at 2.5.
So would they have covered if it was a spread bet?
If it depends what you would have gotten them at the time. For me, it was a push because I got the Lions at 3. So
yeah, that's kind of. I don't know, Kyle.
And then the Broncos Bills finished 46 for the total. So I was finally on the right end of. Usually I'm on the wrong end and I lose by a point. This time I hit it. But that was a sweat. I was worried at the end. Overtime would have hurt me.
Now, would you have taken a Bills win over losing that bet? Because if the Bills scored again, had time to score to
That's the thing. I was thinking that in the fourth quarter. I was like, man.
Bettor's dilemma.
But I won $57 off from these 3 picks, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
but yeah, good week.
fellas.
Won 6 of my last 9 bets on this show, so pretty happy about that.
Here we go.
yeah, I could have bought another 30 points for Duke UNC if I really wanted to on that over. So definitely take that. And CUSA action with Liberty there was a slam dunk. They easily covered the 13.5.
Well, this week they're giving 27.5
Yeah.
to UMass.
Yeah, UMass back to being bad. after a thunderous start to the year.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Hey, quick question for you guys. We talk about futures here every now and then. I wanted to bring them up this week because NFL, we're at an interesting spot, and I saw a few interesting futures that I might be doing a little bit of action on here before the weekend really gets going. But through the process of that, saw a couple in the college basketball space, one in the college football space. I kind of wanted to see if you guys had seen anything this week in terms of that caught your attention.
Well, what do you got? I did not look at futures.
Yeah,
This week.
so the one that caught me really initially was I was trying to find one that was like C.J. Stroud MVP, but DraftKings and FanDuel, at least up here in New York, doesn't have any offerings quite
Yeah,
on that.
That's bad.
Which I don't think CJ is going to get MVP, but the fact that all of a sudden the past couple of days there's been some steam around it.
Yeah, you would have wanted
Some
to bet at
interest.
whatever the odds
Right.
were last week.
Yeah.
Now the ship sailed, I
Right.
think. What are the odds?
I don't know.
Oh, they don't have
wasn't,
them on
I
DraftKings.
wasn't able to find any in terms of that. But I did find an interesting one. So they have like the league leaders in passing yards, rushing, stuff like that. NFL current passing leader for quarterbacks. Do we know in the audience here? Any
Not
guess?
C.J. Stroud.
That's correct.
It is C.J. Stroud.
It's not,
No,
no.
it's not C.J.
Not.
Stroud, yeah.
Passing yards?
Passing yards. Yep.
It's Tua?
It's not Tua. Kyle looks like he's on the edge of it.
Is it not Jared Goff? Is it Herbert? Justin Herbert?
It's not Justin Herbert.
Wow. Is it
Oh,
Dak Prescott?
It is not Dak
I
Prescott.
read this the other
You
day.
should know this.
AFC?
NFC.
I don't.
Is it Sam Howell?
It is Sam Howell.
Crazy.
And he is still hovering right at about 5th or 6th, depending upon what market you look at, for futures for leading the passing yards, most passing yards in the NFL.
Wow. So he's
Yeah. On DraftKings, you can get him at plus 1,000 right
so
now.
if he just stays the course, then
Yeah.
he would win that, and it's plus 1,000.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and to further back that up, I'm like, that's interesting. So I went down the college sports path. I saw that Washington, who has a tiebreaker over Oregon, at least in conference right now, this is a key part in this, has longer odds to win the college football playoff than Oregon at plus 1,400 to win the college football
That's all
playoff.
based on public sentiment.
Right. And then
So where are they in the Big Ten, Pac-12 standings right now?
Washington is number 1.
They're a game ahead of Oregon,
Yep.
and they have the tiebreaker.
Yep.
So that virtually guarantees them, as long as they don't trip up too bad on
Right.
the way home, a spot in the playoffs.
Correct.
And Oregon would have to come in as an at-large, which maybe they wouldn't, because you're looking at usually a second Big Ten team or a
Right.
second SEC team.
Right.
Huh. That's interesting. But that's also not to make the playoffs. They would have to win
win.
it. And how many people think Washington's going to win it?
I don't think so, but I think for the squeeze right there, I think it's worth it maybe jumping on now, potentially.
And hedge if they get to the
Right,
finals?
exactly.
Shit.
Or take a cash out option if they give you one that's super enticing at that point. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
good finds there.
so this one I won't say slightly pains me because I missed the Big East, but maybe the team involved slightly pains me to a degree. Villanova is plus 4,000 to be the college basketball champions right now, coming off a very low point in the week earlier this week. But also, we have the early season tournaments next week, and there's not a ton of Maui offerings. I want to get on the Maui
Which
train.
isn't even in Maui this year because of the
Right.
fire. So it's the Maui Invitational, but it's elsewhere in
Honolulu,
Hawaii.
yep.
Honolulu.
Yeah. But because Syracuse is there, the books aren't really offering a ton of in terms
What
of
day do they
options
open,
there.
you know? Syracuse, when do
I
they?
think they're
Monday.
Monday, yeah.
night.
It's a
Pretty much all those.
it's a
afternoon?
2:30 in the afternoon
Yeah.
start.
Oh, wow.
It's I think a 2 or a 2:30. Definitely
We'll
do.
have to pull them up
the
here
afternoon.
at the office.
Yep.
But for me, the battle for Atlantis, Villanova's there, and they have the third highest odds. They're at plus 400 to be battle for Atlantis champions. That intrigues me a little bit as well. So maybe not a true future in that sense, but early week next week if you're looking to maybe get some action going.
You can bet on teams to win these preseason tournaments.
Yep.
Oh, that's an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, so I've been.
Do they do that for the NBA? They must do that as well for the NBA in-season tournament.
Oh yeah, there's a big DraftKings has it right now. There's a boost to pick who's the, as they call it, the in-season tournament on there. So
Yeah, if I cared about the NBA, I might look at that, but
NBA's been interesting. I haven't really gone near it too much this week.
A lot of fights.
Well, it might be time for a different podcast there, but yeah, Draymond getting 5 games was I think I might have gone a little bit more in that sense, but whatever. Here nor there. But yeah, I mean, college basketball, I've been pretty much 500-ish or slightly above 500 for the week in terms of percentage, so take it. Early season's still there. Some teams holding on by the edge of their teeth. Luckily, we weren't able to bet Colgate-Syracuse because that would have been a sweat and a half and then some, so.
She took Colgate,
Yeah, that's true.
but the Cuse pulled it out. They won.
Yeah, so part of the beast, I guess. Have you guys done anything super major this week in terms of betting that you feel really good about?
Well, I mean, I've been doing an NHL and NBA one every night, and I've hit every day so far this week. Last night I won 50 on the NHL and 38 on the NBA. So I've had a lot of success lately. I've been doing shot props for the NHL, picking 3 or 4 guys to get 2+ shots, and it's been working.
Nice.
I've been sprinkling a lot of college basketball bets at low amounts just to kind of get a feel for some of the teams, and I'm probably shooting about 50% on those. But I did hit a nice 3-team MAC parlay on Thursday night, or it was Tuesday night.
Maction.
Yeah, it was Northern Illinois. Who were the other 2 games? Bowling Green and Toledo.
Bowling Green, Toledo, yeah.
Toledo, and then all on the money line, Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. You trusted a rivalry game, too, in there, the Battle of I-75.
Well, that is more like just, Tuesday night college
Right.
football. I'll just try to pick the 3 winners. And it came through $5 to win like 15.
Okay. As long as it keeps rolling the bank account along there a little bit, right?
Yep.
That's all that matters. Yeah, shout out to Indiana State for last night, and I did venture into the MAC a little bit there, so shout out to the Chippewas for laying low and doing their thing and allowing Ohio to come away with a victory. I appreciate that. So.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing that I did bet that was is worth noting. Might have been Monday night. I saw, Mississippi Valley State's one of the worst teams in Division I. But they were getting 45 and a half.
Yeah.
45 and a half from UConn.
Yep.
Now, it's tough to beat anybody by more than 45 points, let alone 45 and a half points. So, I parlayed them with Florida A&M, who was giving up 35, 37 maybe to Florida. And they both covered. Of course they did. Because that's too many points.
Yeah.
They both covered easily.
This is the part of the podcast where I say I faded Mississippi Valley State and laid 45 and a half with UConn.
Confidence give 45 and a half points to somebody. I mean, think about that. But as terrible as they are, it's tough. Even usually if a team gets up by 30 something, they take the gas off the pedal, a little bit, and so that was intriguing to me. And sometimes I'll do that. I was just looking at the games and wondering why I play. I see these 2 giant spreads. I'm like, hey, I'll parlay at least 2. So I was getting like 92 and a half points between the 2 games. Or no, it would have been 70. It would have been like 80 something points between the 2 games in that parlay. It's a lot of points.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. Do I want to do the trivia time right now with Mississippi Valley State? I'll be sure I got my alumni right there. Probably not. Yeah, that's where Jerry Rice went.
Yeah, well, he didn't play basketball.
You never know who could be laying around campus. All right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I faded Mississippi Valley State. I always do. They are. Go back to something we talked about a little bit last week. They're just one of those teams that are just usually so bad. I fade and
things change a little bit though. Like Kennesaw State has been one of those teams over the past few years that I would be happy to bet against on a regular basis. But they're getting better this year, and so now because of their historic, performance, Vegas and the public still wants to bet against them. But they're a little better this year, so I think there's value on the opposite side. Same thing with Morehead State, who was just an awful team like 2 or 3 years ago, one of the worst in Division I. Now they're decent. I mean, they're respectable. So they're still underdogs, but they're covering.
Yeah. Feel bad for you, Kyle. You have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
It's all right, though. It's like when I talk NHL, you guys, I mean, it's like, you know a little bit, but.
Look, I didn't ride through years of Nikolai Hobby-Bulin in the Lightning net for you to disparage me in such a way. But anyway, all right, we're rambling. Pick time? We want to do picks?
Yeah.
All right. You want to know what? I haven't gone first. I'll go first.
Yeah,
for
you
this one,
guys went
you know?
3-0 this week,
So,
or
yeah.
2.5-0, whatever it is. So let her rip.
Yeah. So, first one, Iowa -3 at home against Illinois. Second one, Western Kentucky -12.5 at home against Sam Houston. Going to college, and then my lone pro one, I'm taking the Eagles +2.5 on the road in Kansas City. Risky one right there, but
I got them at
have the
plus
Eagles.
3.
I have the Eagles winning
Same here.
outright.
Yeah, they're plus 3. Give yourself the extra point.
All right, works for me. I'll take the extra half there. Give me +3. Who wants to go next? Kyle?
I'll go. I got tonight Cincinnati +3.5 at Baltimore. I got Cowboys -10.5 at Panthers.
Oh.
And I got the Eagles +3 at KC on Monday night.
Oh, everybody loves the Eagles this week,
We
huh?
do. Jim,
okay.
your time to shine.
So I also like the Eagles +3 at the Chiefs, but you know what? Since you guys both took them, I'm going to go off of that game. But I will go with Illinois at Iowa under 30.5.
Love
Got
it.
to ride that train while you can. They're under every week, and until they're over, I'll bet Iowa games under, even if it is 30.5. Back to the NFL. Chargers at Packers, over 44. I have not enjoyed betting many over games in the NFL this year, but guess what? The Chargers scored touchdowns on their final 5 possessions and still found a way to lose to the Lions.
Stats that matter.
So that should tell you enough about the Chargers defense. And yes, they're playing a lackluster Green Bay offense, but I would expect Jordan Love to be able to actually move the ball pretty well against one of the worst secondaries in the league. Over 44 in that. I thought it would be higher. And then my second game, we're going to go with an under 46 in the Seahawks at Rams game. They totaled 43 in week 1. Matt Stafford's back on track to play for the Rams, but the Rams haven't cracked the 20-point mark since week 6. So I wish it was like 46, but it's 43, and that's what it is. I'm going under. So I'm going with 2 unders and 1 over this week.
Well, you did say it was under 46, though, didn't you?
I got under 46. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I got my wish.
All right, perfect. We all got wishes there, so all right. How about that? We have a lot of there's only two ways this could go. Since we're all thinking in the same line of thought for a few different games. Either we're going to be hitting a home run on this, or we're going to be down swinging on one knee like Sammy Sosa.
Well, the Eagles game is the game of the year. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl. It's Monday Night Football, and both teams are at the top of their conference. It is a pretty good chance that will be a rematch in the Super Bowl. And the Eagles are getting 3 primarily because it's in Kansas City, but I think home field advantage is one of the most overrated things in the NFL, to be honest with you. And if you looked at the weather forecast, it calls for rain and wind. Couple that with the fact that these primetime games all tend to go under. A low-scoring game, to me, favors the Eagles. And they're getting 3 points, so why not? I might take them on the money line.
Yeah, I was about to say, I picked him outright yesterday, so that's where I've got to lean with that.
Yeah, I have a stat here. The last 11 primetime games have gone under.
Man, isn't that amazing? Like, she just bet them under every time.
Yep.
And why is that?
What is it tonight? Kyle, do you know?
Tonight it's 46.5. And the first meeting was 27-23 Baltimore.
And Joe Burrow was a little hampered with an
Yep.
injury.
Lamar ran for like 60-some yards. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think there's a chance this game goes under.
Yeah, the Bengals defense is a little banged up, but they usually find a way. And but I'm probably going to, after saying that all these primetime games have been going under, I might lay off it this week. But I do like the Bengals. This is such a huge game for both of those teams. All the NFC North game or AFC North games are huge this week.
Yeah.
But remember how the Ravens couldn't close out P.J. Walker and the Browns last week?
Yep.
I mean, that's enough for me to give it to Joe Burrow, even though they lost to the Texans. But that collapse for the Ravens last week was so bad. And P.J. Walker didn't even get the start this week.
That's wild.
How about this? Both teams are coming off losses, and both teams have won 4 of their last 5 games.
Yeah, huge game. I mean, and really we talked about on the Bills podcast about the Bills being in trouble. Imagine if Cincinnati loses this game. That would be good for Buffalo probably, but it would be their playoff hopes would be really, if you're the Bengals, on the outside looking in if they lose tonight. It's a really good Thursday night game tonight.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say after Chicago, Carolina last week.
Who's Sunday night this week?
Sunday is Minnesota at Denver.
Oh, it's another really good game that if you went back 3 weeks ago, that would have looked like the worst game, of the year. But it really is shaping up to be a pretty interesting game, especially with Justin Jefferson maybe coming back. Originally I want to lean towards Minnesota in that game, but you know what? Sean Payton's done such a good job of making Denver competitive, and Russell Wilson's coming into form, and it seems like to me that this would be the right time for the Josh Dobbs love fest, the pass or not, to finally come back down to earth, to
That's
splash
exactly what I
down.
was thinking.
So I would probably lean towards Denver if I was going to play that game, which I generally do play every primetime game somehow just for entertainment purposes,
Yep.
They say not to do that,
Yeah.
Don't bet on a game just because it's on TV, but hey,
I do it too.
we're only human.
Yeah. And Kyle, you said you're off that train too?
Yeah.
You're off the Minnesota train?
Yeah, for at least this week.
You guys are lame. Give me Josh Dobbs.
You're going.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting the points, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it hard to believe that the
Yeah.
Broncos are giving points after the way their season started? But when you beat the Chiefs and Bills back-to-back weeks,
There's something about Minnesota backup quarterbacks when they get their time. Case Keenum, now it's Josh Dobbs.
You know who could use Josh Dobbs right now? Cleveland, who traded him in August.
yeah, isn't that crazy? Started with Cleveland. You know who else could use them? The New York Giants.
I can't believe they're going to roll with Tommy DeVito again. I know there's limited options, but
The disrespect.
he can't even move the ball down the field.
Wow. Yeah, we know about that a little bit all too well up around here.
Yeah.
for a multitude of reasons. So our picks are locked in. I think we touched on everything we needed to touch on today. Say on that note, we head on out for the weekend. What do you say, guys?
Yeah. There's one last thing I wanted to say.
I got a parlay for tonight if you want to hear it.
Yeah, why not?
I threw $50 on this.
What?
Lamar Jackson, 25-plus rushing yards. Mark Andrews, 4-plus receptions. Tyler Boyd, 40-plus receiving yards, and Joe Burrow, 200-plus passing yards.
What's it pay?
$50 wins $150.
Okay, so you're getting
And it's
3
like
to 1
plus
on.
199. I'm super confident in this. I think this hits easily.
The Boyd part makes me nervous.
And with T. Higgins out, I think Boyd is just another
They got Irwin too.
game for him to go off.
You're right, but that's the one leg of that parlay that makes me a little nervous is Boyd.
Yeah.
So let's roll. Let's keep winning.
Okay. I respect the gusto. It frightens me, but I respect it.
I went from $20, what was it, Monday night, to $200 last night. So I've been
Go off.
winning a lot.
Yeah. How about
So I
that?
decided let's throw 50 on it.
Stay winning.
Yeah, you might be able to retire soon.
No. I wish I was doing what the Barstool guys do, winning 10K off a bet.
Oh, hell no.
No, they also lose.
10K on a bet.
And it just doesn't bother them, though. They act mad, but they got it.
Yeah. I mean, more power to them. I never.
Did
No.
you see the Barstool viewing room or whatever during that Bills game?
Yeah.
That was a
Yep.
funny one. Frank the Tank was just laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their entertainment was Kyle's demise. All right. So I guess on that note, unless Jim, do you remember what you wanted to say, or
We talked about the AFC North.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about the Steelers-Browns game. The Steelers are +1 at the Browns.
that line's been shifting, so
To where?
more towards Steelers being favorite.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Deshaun Watson's out for the year. Not that he's that great, but I mean, I don't feel like betting against Mike Tomlin. The Steelers are 6-3.
It's true.
Yeah, and they've been outgained in yardage every game, and they're still 6-3. That's crazy.
It is nuts. It's very interesting, though, that AFC North, so we got the game tonight, and then we got the Steelers-Browns game. And
What do you think about the over-under and that being 33?
at first I looked at that matchup, I'm like, this game is under, and then I saw it was 33, and I'm like, that is, like, wild.
If the Steelers show up wearing the jerseys that they wore last weekend, that it's their traditional jerseys from like the 70s, where it's the more block number than like the curvature they have now, but it very much so resembles Iowa's. If they show up wearing those again on Sunday, I think it's a destiny sign of that thing going under 33.
Is this going to be like a 17-13 game?
Well, and one other thing, I know we're trying to get out of here, but the over-under on the Jets-Bills game is 39.5. Like, when did you ever think you would see a Bills game with an over-under 40?
Yeah, this year especially, yeah. The start of the year.
And I would be inclined to lean to the under.
And also Jets +7.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bills are going to. What was the first matchup? 23-17?
22-16.
22-16, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like the Bills are going to blow out any team the way they're playing. And the Jets defense is really, really good. So I might lean towards Jets +7.
It's true. I just get the feeling with the Bills that at any moment they could click in and put up a bunch of points, but I'm not going to touch either side of that game.
No. This is the week, too, where it's like if you do the law of whatever, right, new OC, direct for Josh Allen there, something stupid like where they would click would happen, Tends to work itself out that way.
Well, one thing that you do got is the Jets are preparing for something they haven't seen on tape yet.
True.
So sometimes that's why things like that work. It's going to be a fresh look for the Bills' offense.
Yeah. All right. Think on that note, we can head on out, right?
Yep. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
And next week we're probably going to have to do this on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah.
Unless you want to come in on Thursday afternoon after Thanksgiving dinner.
No, I don't think we could. I think Tuesday was the discussion me and Kyle were kind of having earlier.
Yeah, anything works for me.
Yeah. So Tuesday it is. Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. Tuesday.
We can bet some Thanksgiving football.
Love it. Lines will be out by that anyway. So Tuesday next week, Thanksgiving spectacular. I'll have bocce lines available for our tournament. No, I can mess around there a little bit. But good luck to everybody this week. Hopefully you're in the green and you have a ticket at the window to cash. We will see everybody on Tuesday.